Hello there, Lenfi Nation. Welcome to the Dapp Central YouTube channel. My name is Fareed, and today I'm excited to share with you guys an announcement that was just made surrounding the launch of the testnet for V2 of the Lenfi protocol. So I'm going to jump over straight into their Twitter, and this is going to be a brief update, but this is just a confirmation of a prior update that I released on my Cardano scoops. If you guys aren't already keeping up with the Cardano scoop videos, they are released semi-daily, and they basically break down all the news and updates surrounding the Cardano ecosystem as they happen. Now, what I had alluded to in my prior video was that we could expect for the Lenfi testnet to launch on July 10th or this coming Monday. That has now been confirmed by the official team, and I want to break down exactly what this means for us and exactly what we can expect to be functioning and what we can expect to not yet be available on this testnet. Now, before we jump into all of that, Lenfi was previously known as AADA Finance, and they just rebranded about a week ago. Again, this was done in order to make sure that the actual name of the platform reflected what they did, and that it also didn't cause any confusion with the similarity to ADA or ADA, which is the Cardano native governance token. So it states here that July 10th on Monday, you'll get an interface or the interface to interact with the Lenfi protocol. Now, the team wants to make it very clear this is only a part of their development. In this period, they'll be making sure to test the systems at scale, and they're looking to collect feedback from the community. So I think the biggest thing to note here is that this is not a fully functioning product. There's a lot of pieces that the team is well aware of that aren't going to be functioning, and I want to touch on those here in just a minute. Now, this is going to be from Mantis, from their actual team, and he states, this app is not yet finished. We are launching Lenfi on July 10th to allow more people to test with us. So again, reiterating that this is not the final version of the product. And so, be careful in terms of making any final decisions or final judgments once this launches on July 10th. Jumping back into the announcement, we are already aware that some parts will not be working, and we're just fine with that. We'll be adding additional features and gradually manipulating situations and fixing pieces all along the way. That is the process. And I couldn't agree with them more, right? They're getting out an initial MVP and they're iterating on that while listening to the community. In some Web 2 practices, what you normally see is a waterfall approach instead of an agile approach where you're iterating on an MVP, which is what Lenfi is doing. But what you would normally see in Web 2 is companies try to build out a product all entirely or from start to finish and then release it at the very end, only to find out that there's key pieces that the community, number one, doesn't agree with, or number two, doesn't actually find to be useful. So I think the fact that Lenfi is going to be doing this in a piece by piece approach is great, and especially given the fact that they're going to be looping in the community to get their feedback all along the way. So some of the things that they know do not currently work include the ability to create a pool. When you do, you won't be able to delegate that ADA to an SPO. This is done in order to make sure that whenever you have a pool, and again, keep in mind that creating these pools will be completely trustless. So I or you could go ahead and create a pool on the Lenfi protocol for example, the Lenfi token. And if people wanted to put their ADA and their Lenfi tokens to provide liquidity to that pool, the ADA portion of that pool could be taken and delegated to an SPO in order to earn that 3 to 4% passive income from Cardano staking. So again, making sure to keep that ADA active while it's being utilized in a liquidity pool, and offering another revenue method for members who are providing liquidity to the Lenfi pools. So that's going to be the first thing that they are completely aware that will not work. Again, that's going to be the delegation feature of the ADA within the custom created pools. The second is going to be surrounding Oracle prices. So it states here to have fluent testing on the Oracle NFTs. They'll be minted with a long expiration date of about 150 days. Now, this means that the protocol will foolishly assume token prices are incorrect, while on MinSwap, the pre-prod network, they'll be different. Again, they'll be allowing this to occur, and they'll be updating this later on. If you don't understand this, check out my last video surrounding the Oracle structure and the NFTs. But what the Lenfi platform is going to be doing is minting these NFTs or utilizing NFTs in order to basically act as oracles or price verification methods. And so normally whenever you would interact with a liquidity pool, there would be a check on an NFT that would therefore verify the price on a DEX, for example, like MinSwap. And that would normally occur every 10 or so minutes is when we would expect for that NFT to expire. Again, forcing the protocol to go ahead and check the price on a DEX. However, they're going to be extending that period to 150 days. So the NFT, or excuse me, the token prices on the Lenfi testnet will not be updating, even though those values might be updating on the MinSwap DEX on the pre-prod testnet. Again, they are fully aware of this. And once the actual protocol is live, I believe there's going to be about a 5 or 10 minute margin between when the NFTs are updated and when they expire, to make sure that as soon as people are utilizing or interacting with a particular pool, that the prices are constantly being updated. Because as you could imagine, waiting 150 days to update a particular NFT or a particular token price, would not be beneficial. So that's only for the testnet. Now, number 3, you won't be able to liquidate the loans using the UI. Bots will be able to do this. And this is going to be a very similar feature to what we have with Indigo, where you can basically go to a page, scroll up and down, see exactly which loans are available for liquidation, and then actually go ahead and perform a liquidation. Now, the incentive here is that I believe there's going to be a 1.6% fee going back over to the liquidator, again, incentivizing them to liquidate members that may be underwater or very close to having an unhealthy loan. One thing to keep in mind about this is that if you are acting as a liquidator, it allows for you to participate in DeFi, but with very little or no risk. So if you're not looking to actually take out a loan, this is another way to actually earn. Again, it's not the biggest amount, but it is an amount nonetheless. And there's not really much downside to being a liquidator, as long as you have the underlying asset that is being used or that is needed to perform the loan liquidation. Very lastly, you won't be able to destroy any of the liquidity pools. And again, I don't think this is going to be anything crazy, but given the fact that it is a test net, we'll probably have hundreds, maybe thousands of pools being created. So just keep that in mind as a recap. When creating the pools, you will not be able to delegate. There's going to be a 150-day limit on the Oracle NFT expiration dates, and then you won't be able to liquidate using the user interface. And then very lastly, you cannot destroy any of the liquidity pools that are, again, created by the community. So let's look forward to July 10th. As you guys can definitely bet, I'll have a fully dedicated video breaking down all the ins and outs of their testnet, and I'll probably provide an additional update a few months from now as well, once they've got all these other things kind of tidied up and ready for release. Now that's going to take me through the first portion here of today's video. If you guys are enjoying this so far, I would really appreciate it if you could tap that like button. If it's your first time stopping by the channel and you want more content like this, consider subscribing. And if you have any more questions for me surrounding Lenfi or Cardano, then please make sure to go ahead and leave those down below. Now, in my prior video as well, right, because they have rebranded over to Lenfi, I had a lot of members asking me, when will we get the new tokens and how will that actually work? Well, that question has now been answered and you no longer have to wait. So let me share my screen. And as you guys can see, we now have the new Lenfi DAO token, which is now available. So if you previously held AADA, check your wallet. That will no longer be there. Those light blue days are gone, and welcome to the light purple days of Lenfi. So the team has gone ahead and actually updated the existing token to reflect the branding change to Lenfi instead of AADA, and there's not going to be any migration. So I think this is a blessing in disguise, given that the migrations can leave some people behind, and they do require a little bit of technical know-how to either connect or bridge, or just go through the entire process itself, right? This is the easiest way to do this, given the fact that they already had a token. They just went ahead and updated some of the metadata. And so if you held a certain amount of AADA tokens before, you don't have to worry or do anything. Those will automatically be transferred over or shifted over to the new Lenfi token. So if I jump over into Cardano scan, what I wanted to show you guys here is that this is the same exact policy ID. You can actually see that the old asset name that was originally used, which is AADA, still stands. However, the actual name of the token has been updated, as well as the description of the token. Keep in mind that the supply is still the same, right? Which is at 29.5 million tokens. And so there's not going to be any inflation. And as I mentioned before, you don't have to do anything here within the community in order to view the new tokens. They should already be live. And if you check your wallet, you should now have access to them. Now, the very last thing I wanted to touch on is going to be the Lenfi Lightpaper. And if you guys have not already checked this out, I recommend you go ahead and do so in preparation of the testnet coming on July 10th. Now, this particular Lightpaper will be solely focusing on the peer-to-pool lending version of the protocol. And I touched on this in my prior Cardano Scoop video, but it really covers everything that you need to know, which includes supplying assets, borrowing assets, liquidations, platform fees, NFT bonds, liquidity pool tokens, being a pool manager, liquidations, governance, peer-to-peer, right, which is the old version of the protocol, as well as the new version, which is now going to be called peer-to-pool, which technically is also P2P if you're using an acronym. So that is going to do it there for today's video. Again, I'm definitely going to be doing my due diligence over the weekend, really trying to digest all of this information here that we have from Lenfi surrounding the new version of their protocol. And let me know what you guys think down below. Are you guys excited to see this launch? I know that the price action has been pretty crazy here for the Lenfi token, and I've just been keeping track of it. But I think this is just the beginning, honestly, right? This team has been doing an amazing job and they continue to set the bar. However, they are going to be joining the likes of a few other protocols building on Cardano, which are also looking to offer peer-to-pool lending. One thing that is a little bit different about Lenfi is the fact that they will be keeping their P2P as well. So they'll have both options available, whereas some of these other protocols are only focusing on peer-to-pool. That is going to do it for me here. Again, I appreciate you guys tuning in and really just hearing me out when it comes to Lenfi. If you guys appreciate content like this, please make sure to tap that like button. If it's your first time stopping by the channel and you want more content like this, consider subscribing. And if you have any questions for me surrounding Lenfi or Cardano, then please make sure to go ahead and leave a comment down below. That said, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video.